day 8 in Japan, and we spent it in Kamakura, that is like 1 hour and a half away from Tokyo. We wanted to see the Engakuji temple, which is a significant Zen temple that is very old, from the 13th century. There are lots of temples and gardens in that area. We also heard monks that were having a prayer ritual, I believe. This picture I wanted to include in that TikTok because it talks about a legend of a white deer that appeared from that cave and came to listen to the monks' prayers, which I think is kind of crazy. Look at these bamboos everywhere. The landscape was just so amazing, and we had nice weather. It was 23 degrees. That was the view from one of the temples. Some temples were allowing pictures, so today you can actually see some things, and this was a monk paths, lots of monks statues with people offering money to them. So afterwards we climbed and went to this little cafe spot because there was the Great Bell there. It's designated as a national treasure from the 14th century, so I think that was really impressive. We saw a lot of ancient stuff that day, and yeah, it was 23 degrees. Look at this view, just amazing. We ate our first omuro rice, at least I did, in Cafe Puch. So basically it's omelets with rice, and there were lots of tempura vegetables with it. It was so tasty. We found this randomly on the street, but yeah, I would recommend that restaurant. Then we went hiking, we followed the trail, and we spent most of the afternoon in that hike, to be honest. There were many temples to see, gardens, the fauna and flora, those spiders again that I love so much. And the view we had, it was just truly amazing. We saw the small birds, and yeah, it was like a tropical jungle, really, you can tell by the pictures. But it was the best hike ever. And then we found the statue of Minamoto no Yoritomo, who founded the feudal system of Japan that worked for centuries. So basically, he was the first shogun, so that means he was the first master of the samurai. That's him who created that samurai system. And yeah, for the Kamakura shogunate. We also found other kind of insects here and more temples during that hike, so that was truly amazing. And then we tried those pastry. I didn't take a picture of it really, so yeah. We went shopping and I finally got a yukata. The yukata was so heavy and I was just carrying it with me all day. Then we went to Kotoku-in Temple, which is one of the things that most people do, I think, when they come to Kamakura. So it has this massive great Buddha statue, bronze statue measuring 13 meters tall from the 13th century. We also went inside of it, that was so warm, and it's just so impressive to see this in real life. That was one of the best things I've ever seen in my life. So I would definitely recommend, and of course there is a temple. And for the rest of the day we visited gardens, beautiful flowers. We also saw a crab with koi fish. We also saw monk statues, other temples, and on top we had a view over the beach, because yes, Kamakura is a city near the beach. So what we did for the rest of the day, we went to the beach and then we went back to our hotel room in Shinjuku. So I will leave you with the last images, and yes, tsunami caution sign, we got scared just by seeing that, but yeah, so see you! Day 9 in Japan, and we spent it in Asakusa district, which has the Sensoji temple, so that is a must when you go to that area to visit this temple. But to be honest, there were so many tourists, it was so crowded that it was not so nice. And don't get me wrong, this is really pretty spot, like I would recommend seeing this with your real eyes, but there were just so many people that I think you must go very early in the morning. So we're glad that we saw other temples and shrines elsewhere in Tokyo, because that was wild. So that day we went to the Samurai Ninja Museum, and it was really nice. We had a guide that was explaining to us Japanese history and the whole concept and story around the samurai. And we also had a contest. We had to throw fake shuriken, so ninja stars. I didn't win, but yeah, and we could take a picture in samurai fake gear, so that was nice. We also had a little stroll next to the river and we saw the Tokyo Sky Tree. And for lunch we tried a Japanese omelette pancake that was actually so good. Afterwards, in the afternoon, we went to Jimbocho district. So this is a book district. So there are lots of stores selling old books outside of their store, but also like lots of cafe and stores in which you can actually read or buy books. So personally, I found this heavy metal rock sort of store where I got a baby metal young guitar magazine, so that was actually super cool. And then we wanted to go to Itoya store, which sells stationery. They had a floor with a farm. I have no idea what was going on. This was a miniature of how the store used to look like. And they also had a cafe, so we ate a little cake there. And that was in the Ginza district, which is like a district with lots of luxurious brands. That was all for that day, so see you! It's already day 10 in Japan, and that morning we ate at the breakfast of the hotel before going to Setagaya City. So I wanted to show you what we ate every morning, because I think that was one of the healthiest breakfasts I've ever had. So every morning we've been eating miso soup, rice, some fruits depending on the day, a couple of vegetables like this sort of salad, and for me some eggs, and I also drank an orange juice, and I know I'm gonna miss that breakfast because it just tastes so good. So as I said, we went to Setagaya City. So the goal was to go to Gotokuji Temple. So that is actually an Edo Buddhist temple, which is very famous for its collection of cat statues. So the story behind is that this is actually the birthplace of the Maneki Neko lucky beckoning cats, because the story is during the Edo period there was a lord that encountered a cat, and that cat led him to a temple and saved that guy from thunder. So basically he decided to make a shrine with lots of cat statues to kind of give a tribute to that cat named Tama. As I said, this spot is very famous, so there were actually lots of people there, but apart from the cat statues there is a nice garden and temples and shrines, so I would really recommend going there. So I actually bought one cat for my house and I left one on the shelves. There is over 1,000 cats, so that is actually crazy. Then we went to Shimo-Kitazawa, which is a place with lots of fashion stores, thrift stores, so definitely if you are looking to get new stuff for your wardrobe, you should go to this place because there is lots of stores, different prices, but overall we didn't find anything. But we went into this kind of bookstore and I found a We Rock magazine, which I didn't know about, but there are a lot of rock music artists, also metal I believe, and there is an article about baby metal, a recent concert in Japan. So I got that magazine and I can't wait to translate it and actually discover new Japanese artists. There were also in that store, very surprisingly, a Dead by Daylight pop-up store. So you may not know, but I'm a gamer, I play a lot of video games, I've been playing since I was very little, and Dead by Daylight is a game I really enjoy, so I was very surprised to see they had a pop-up store, so I got myself a couple of things there, and then we decided afterwards to go back to Akihabara. I forgot to mention we also saw a lot of home and antique stores, but we didn't get anything in that street. But yeah, so we went back to Akihabara because Thursday I went there, I got a lot of baby metal secondhand things, and there was a battle jacket that I really wanted and I didn't purchase it the first time. So we went back to that store, but unfortunately the battle jacket was gone, guys. So I was very disappointed, but yeah, we decided to stay in that neighborhood because we wanted to try a maid cafe. So we tried Maid Dreamin', it had a lot of nice reviews, so that's why we wanted to go there, and the maids were really nice. And personally, I got myself a panda ice cream. which was so with matcha and red bean. So they also give you those little cute ears that you saw, and we could also take a picture with one of the maids. So personally I decided to do not with my phone but with the Polaroid because I can actually put it in my travel journal. But yeah, so that was the maid I decided to take a picture with. She was very nice. So that was a very sweet memory, and I'm glad that we went to a maid cafe. And afterwards we played a lot of games. So we played Mario Kart, but mainly music things because I saw there was like guitars and dance halls, and also there were drums, and I could play baby metal, Metali on the drums, and that was so surprising and just so cool. I'm gonna give you a little extract of it. So yeah, that was such a cool evening playing games and all. It's very cheap, it's like 100 yen per machine. And yeah, this is Akihabara by night, and I played even more also other drums, if that makes sense. So yeah, unfortunately we came back to the hotel late in the evening and we started to feel sick because there was a massive pandemic of flu. And we caught it. So yeah, but that was all for that day. Day 11 and already the last day of this whole trip to Japan. That is crazy. We wanted a very chill day because later that day we had to take the plane. So we went to Konohachimangu Shrine, which is not such a popular shrine, but it's in the middle of the city and it's very quiet, and I believe it is only been visited by the locals. So that was very chill, and we had a bit of sun that morning and that whole day, so that actually helped us feeling better. So this shrine, I actually got myself a wooden panel that usually you write prayers on it and you hang them in the shrine, but I actually got it for myself, for home decoration, I guess. So these are other pictures of that shrine, Inari Shrine, and I really love the contrast between modernity in the back and this traditional shrine, so yeah. Because we were going to take a bus from Shinjuku station to go to the airport later, we decided to stay in the Shinjuku district that day, so we ate our last vegan ramen, and it may not look super delicious, but I swear this was one of the best ramen as well that I ate. It had burdock, which I absolutely loved, and this one had a sort of creamy soup, so that was super tasty and the stuff was very nice. So in the afternoon we decided to visit the Shinjuku Gyoen Garden. This is actually not a free garden, but that was definitely worth it. So as you can tell, it has beautiful traditional Japanese garden style, but it also has that modernity in the background as well. And I love the contrast of both. This is a Taiwan pavilion that I thought was really beautiful. But yeah, I would definitely recommend going there. You can also rent kimonos and do photo shoots in this garden. So the present site of Shinjuku Gyoen was originally part of Edo residence of the Lord Naito. And in the Meiji era, it became an agricultural experiment station. But then in 1906, it was made into an imperial garden. And after the war in 1949, it was opened to the public as a national garden. And the garden contains 3 styles. So there's landscape garden, formal garden, and Japanese traditional garden. And it is considered to be one of the most important modern Western style gardens in the Meiji era. Yeah, I just read that on the pamphlet I had. We saw so many different animals and plants in that garden. There were tons of ravens and koi fish, and also there was a greenhouse, and I would recommend visiting it because it just had so many different plants. So with my sister, we had that pamphlet with the map, and we tried to see the seasonal flowers because basically, of course, every season there are certain plants to see. So these are, for example, Japanese beauty berries, but we also saw other different types of plants. One of them was also the Taiwanese Todd lilies, which I thought
they were just so pretty. So yeah, there were also a lot of lemon trees and other flowers that I do not know what they are, but they were extremely pretty. Like this one, because you can't really see on the picture, but it had that fur texture. And also, even though it was autumn, we saw sakura. So there were a couple of cherry blossoms. You can see them. They are actually white right now. I mean, at that moment, they were more white than pink, but still, that was very pretty to see this. And it was already time to take the bus to the airport and then wait for our flight. So Haneda Airport, I think, is actually so amazing. I didn't take much picture, but they are currently building a Godzilla there. So there was only the head, but yeah. And it has a Japanese style, that airport. So that was amazing. That was the end of